What is up, everyone? This is Kaz here with another Path of Exile video. This is our Delve League. We're about 2 days into the league, and this is kind of an unscripted kind of just overview of what I think about the new mechanics of the mine, the Delve. Overall, I have to say I am definitely pleased with what I see. Not only is this a viable end game and the fact that it is infinitesimally scaling, I think this is day 2 or day 3 of the league, and we already have someone doing level 315, 320, I think. And to give you kind of a scope of where that sits, each level kind of corresponds with a monster level. 300, we're talking about fighting level 300 monsters with a level 100 capped character. So yeah, it's someone has gotten pretty deep into this delve thing. Mechanics are amazing. I love it. I like the idea of following the cart and the cart being in the light. And here, this kind of freaked me out here for a second, especially not expecting it. But the light on the cart can actually go out, and it envelopes you in darkness, and you kind of have to go back to the cart and click on it or something. Not exactly sure how the mechanics of that work, but the first couple times it happens, it definitely throws you in for a bit of a scare there. But going in, infinitesimally scaling, vertically, I think it's also infinitesimally scaling from side to side. So if you're capped at level 60 or level 70 and you're not able to push any deeper, you can go from side to side and try and upgrade your mine or hunt for better gear or whatnot. Overall, the UI and the experience, I know there have been some complaints about, the cart isn't very clear about which direction it's turning. That to me kind of adds to the kind of fun value to it, where you're at a fork in the road and you're like, oh, which way are we going? Should I start going around this one or that one or whatnot? I think that kind of adds to the fun value. I know some other concerns and issues are, how do you get parties involved in this? And I know I haven't done a party in the Delve system yet, primarily just because Sam hasn't kind of started this league yet. But mainly, how does all that work out? You can't just kind of form a party and then go into the mine, because when you do that, we found out that you kind of go to your own mine when you're doing that, and you can actually in a party work on your mine while the other person works on their mine at the same time. I think the way that you have to kind of trick the system into getting both players into the same mine is for one player to teleport to the other player using the new mechanic. The new currency item things, I haven't gotten to a point where I've been using them or anything like that. I think I got my first fossil a little under an hour ago. This recording is probably 7-8 hours old compared to where my character is right now, and kind of just exploring the mechanics of the game, or mechanics of the delve. I did find that the quest, I guess it is a quest that the guy gives you, but I guess the tutorial, the explanation of how to do it, wasn't very clear in breaking down walls. Flares, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. If you're in the dark, drop a flare. Okay, there's a little confusion over, okay, you don't throw the flare, you drop it. So when you hit the button, you're dropping it directly at where you're standing. Maybe you're throwing it a few feet in front of you, depending on if you're running or not, but not by much. However, the walls, the breakable walls, I think could have used a little bit more explanation. And the reason is because it's, finding a breakable wall requires you to use flares to go off the I was going to say beaten path, but it's really off the lit path. So you're going to have to use flares to find a breakable wall. And then once you get to that wall, you have to keep your flares up, as well as using your the sticks or bottles of dynamite. They look more like bottles to me, but you have to use your dynamite to break down that wall while keeping yourself alive using flares. Once you're out of flares, once you're not in a lit area, you get this debuff and it starts taking your health down real fast. I think people who might not be so brave might, you know, not necessarily want to be in that kind of environment where your health is kind of slowly ticking down too long, and because of that they're not going to experience or really truly figure out how to find a breakable wall and then how to, you know, use dynamite to break it once you find it. Personally, I definitely recommend remapping the 6 and 7 keys that those two are defaulted to something else. I don't know if it's just me or whatnot, but 6 and 7 are just a little bit too far of a reach for my hand, so I just map those to something different on my mouse for easier access, especially since you're going to be using those at a very quick response time. But yeah, overall, I am definitely pleased with what I see in Delve. Let's see, fixes. Maybe some balance, but I mean, even the balance is, I don't know if I can say much about the balance because I've been sticking to a kind of 30-ish area, level 30-ish area, even though I'm, I think, level 45, 50 or something like that nowadays, or, you know, at the time of recording this, the audio of this. Yeah, you know, honestly speaking, just the UI and the tutorials on how to do this could probably be improved a little bit, and then balance changes around the Azurite and upgrading your minecart, and balance changes around getting the sulfite to be able to light up the cart and power the cart. Outside of that, it's been really fun. I know, you know, I've been watching these people go up to like level 300, you know, on the channel announcements and everything like that. I've watched other people's video of going, you know, past 100, and it just seems like a lot of fun. Cannot wait for, you know, my characters to be in that kind of position. I don't know what the intent is for this. I definitely hope it's not something that would replace maps. I definitely hope that this is here to stay and stays for a very long time. I think this is definitely a lot of fun, a lot of end game viable content, and honestly speaking, I think I will probably start using this as a kind of a metric for measuring whether or not a build is viable or not. Seeing how far that the build can go into the mines, rather than using the maps. And the main reason for that is just for a delve, it gives you more of a, I guess, discrete, not even a discrete measure, but it just gives you a better measure of how powerful that build can be, outside of, you know, working on maps where it's like, oh, you can kill the Shaper with this. Okay, well, there's a lot of builds that can kill the Shaper with that. There's a lot of builds that are, you know, capable of doing a lot of different things. I think the Delve gives you a little bit better insight as to, oh, okay, well, this is a, you know, a 150 build where it can go to Delve level 150. You know, I think that's a little bit more viable, a little more clear to other people how that build kind of goes, and I hope other people do the same too. Start using the Delve as a metric for measuring builds. Anyway, I'm not going to rant on too much. I think I'm almost out of video room as well, or maybe not. Maybe I'm going back in. But yeah, just a quick update, kind of first impressions, feedbacks on Delve. I am going to come out with a couple other videos, more recent videos of my Delve experience, where I'm kind of where I'm at in the Delve, showing a little bit more of the horizontal scaling and the vertical scaling, talking a little bit more about the mechanics of it and what I'm doing this league. I am playing an Arc Miner, or not Arc Miner, Arc Trapper and Arc Totem build with a Scion, which is not something I've played around with, but so far I'm loving the speed of it. I am going to come back and try and do Ningamahu's Axe again this league, not as my main, but as a secondary. So I'll have more videos on that coming in soon as well. Outside of that, have fun. If you see me online, I'll post my name in the chat somewhere. If you see me online, hit me up. We'll do some party play and whatnot. Outside of that, I'll see y'all next time.
Your torment is over.